Hi, welcome to Hotpoint video tutorials. This video tutorial will be shown to you by Dave. He will take you through a step-by-step procedure in repairing this appliance.
Hi there, in this video I'll be removing and refitting the cooling fan assembly on a Hotpoint WE74. This is a ceramic hob cooker, and although the actual fixings may vary from other similar models, the basic information is the same. So this video could be helpful on other ceramic hob appliances made by Creda, Indesit, Ariston, to name but a few. Before you start work on any appliance, remember to disconnect it from the mains power supply first. The hob is held on at the rear by these two screws. Don't undo the other screws because they're holding the support arms for the element. Just to make sure you have undone the correct screws, lift the hob a little. It won't come off just yet because it's still held on by the front screws. Next, lever the control knobs off. If you place them in order as you remove them, it will make it easy for when it comes to putting them back on, or you may put them on the wrong spindle. I'm using a piece of tin to stand them on. This way I can move them all to a safe location out of the way and still have them in the correct order for refitting. The buttons on the clock are all exactly the same and they just pull off, so you can put them with the screws. As I said earlier, the fascia panel is held on by two screws and they're located underneath inside the door opening. When they're removed you can slide the panel to the left and it will come free, but you won't be able to completely remove it because of the neon wires which are still attached. So just let it hang there, and providing it's not knocked, it will be fine. Now you can get to the screws that hold the front of the hob on. Remove them and it can be lifted and turned to gain access to the wiring connections. Be careful when handling the hob at this stage, because although they're very robust in everyday use, they're more vulnerable when they're removed from the unit. And don't try to stretch the wires as you turn the hob over, or you may just damage one or more of the elements, or bend some of the terminals and cause them to short circuit. This you won't realise until you switch the power back on. The connection between the elements and the switches is made via two male to female socket and plug assemblies. You may feel it necessary to mark which ones go where, but in this case it's not necessary because they can't be reconnected wrongly. However, on some other models this may be a viable option. As you can see, to separate them, just squeeze the clasps at the side of the assembly and leave them apart. With the hob out of the way you can easily work on the cooling fan, but before you remove it, first do a continuity test to be sure it's the motor that's faulty. Like all electrical components, you should remove the wiring before testing, or you could get an incorrect reading. There are three screws holding this fan assembly to the ducting, one on top and one either side. With these out of the way, the fan can be lifted out. This fan serves a dual purpose really. It not only blows cool air through the ducting between the hob and the oven compartments, but it's also an extractor for the oven vent. You'll notice there's a number of holes on the fan canopy. These are so it can fit different models, so be careful to fit the screws in the correct holes or it won't line up properly. You can buy all your spares and tools online at partforyou.co.uk. We cater for most makes and models, even some of the more obscure ones. As I said earlier, it's not possible on this cooker to get the connection plugs crossed because there's a male and female plug attached to the hob and the same connected to the cooker. In this way you can only attach the male from the cooker to the female on the hob and vice versa. Even the casing around the pins are shaped so they only fit one way. Therefore refitting and wiring from the cooker to the hob is the easy bit. Once again, be extra careful when it comes to moving or refitting the hob because it's so easy to pull on the wiring without realising it, and this could damage or bend the terminals. Make sure the hob is resting flat on the cooker before refitting the front screws. So you can see how the fascia panel locates in place. I've left the hob off, but in practice you wouldn't see it like this. The lips on the panel slot into the brackets on the cooker and are held in place by two screws underneath. If you set the control knobs out on a board when you took them off, you shouldn't have any trouble refitting them now. The clock buttons are just as easy because they also just push on. It just remains to fit the two screws at the rear of the cooker before testing and the job's done. We hope this video was of help to you, and remember to buy your spares online at partforyou.co.uk because this is how we can finance making these free videos. Thanks for watching.